Sea monsters have dominated pop culture for decades, a whole bunch of scary, massive, terrifying monsters lurking right beneath the water. And today we're going to take a look at some of the most iconic sea monsters in the universe, ranking them all from weakest to strongest. So let's get to it. The Mosasaurus is an enormous aquatic lizard, growing up to 50 feet long and filled with teeth and power and killing potential. They lived near the water's surface. They actually breathed air like whales or dolphins. They would eat anything that crossed their paths: fish, whales, dinosaurs, even other mosasaurs. And if you're taking the one from Jurassic Park, well, it's probably the biggest and most dangerous dinosaur that they ever created. You really don't want to be in the same water as this thing, but it's still coming in the bottom of our list. The Kulu clawfish is a nightmarish creature living down in the oceans of Naboo. It's like a bizarre mixture of a crocodile and an eel. It's one of the top predators on the planet. It'll wait for hours before ambushing any unexpected prey, attacking it with a hydrosonic scream and deadly venomous fangs. Of course, it's gotta be careful. It's big and powerful, but it's not the biggest fish in the sea. The Megalodon is one of the largest predators to have ever lived, an apex predator swimming down in the dark depths of the ocean. The biggest shark to ever live, 3 times bigger than the biggest great white. It could open its jaws wide enough to fit 2 whole people side to side. Then it comes crashing down with 270 piercing teeth, one of the strongest bite forces in the animal kingdom. Like we saw in the Meg, well, really nothing is safe from these things. They'll attack you in ships, they'll devour krakens, even if you're a T-Rex. If you ever find yourself near one of these monsters, well, odds are you're gonna be its next snack. While Magikarp are pretty worthless, it still is worth keeping one around on the off chance you can get it to evolve into Gyarados. One of the most vicious Pokemon around, it was known to have the power to destroy whole towns in its rage, and it won't stop its rage until everything around it is destroyed. And that becomes a whole lot easier with its Hyper Beam. It's able to turn pretty much everything into ash with just one blast. There were 3 incredibly powerful monsters in the Rampage movie. Easily the biggest and most powerful of them was Lizzie, the gigantic radiated nuclear alligator monster. Coming in at 225 feet, she truly is absolutely massive. And in the movie, well, Lizzie was able to easily channel her inner Godzilla and plow through buildings and whole cities. The loyal pet of Davy Jones, the Kraken is a force of absolute destruction. It will ruthlessly hunt down any ship that Davy Jones tells it to, completely annihilating it and sinking it into the depths of the ocean. It's rumored to have existed for as long as there's been water on the earth, and it terrorized the oceans under Davy Jones' command, until Davy Jones himself was forced to kill it. If there's one thing we learned from Qui-Gon Jinn, well, it's that there's always a bigger fish. And the biggest of them all is the Sando Aqua Monster, the biggest creature living in the ocean of Naboo. We don't know much about them. They're more myth and legend than anything else, but that doesn't stop them from eating everything around. The legendary sea monster of epic proportions, coming in at 200 feet tall, the Kraken is so big and powerful that it's able to give the Greek gods nightmares. Let's be honest here, there's never gonna be a more epic line than Liam Neeson saying, "Release the Kraken." If Perseus hadn't been there with Medusa's head, well, then there was absolutely no way they were gonna be able to stop this thing. While Cthulhu usually just resides in the books and Lovecraft lore, this Eldritch monster made its way onto the big screen in a surprise cameo in Underwater. We don't have an exact size for this version of the monster, and part of that is because Cthulhu can actually adjust his size at will within the monster's lore. But what we do know is that it's able to destroy skyscraper-sized drills with ease, and easily reached over thousands of feet tall. Now, this version of Cthulhu doesn't actually act and behave like the real Cthulhu, meaning no supernatural powers, and it won't drive you insane just by looking at it. But still, it's absolutely massive and definitely powerful. Oh look, another Kraken. But this one's a bit different. It's pretty nice, surprisingly friendly, and just wants to sing and perform for everyone. Of course, you play the wrong song, and they'll become mindless and vicious and attack pretty much everyone on sight. But what throws this Kraken so high up the list is just its absolutely massive size. Even just its tentacles are big enough to dwarf a cruise ship. The Carathin is the queen of the seas and the fierce protector of Atlantis. Pretty much nothing was more epic than seeing Aquaman ride this absolute behemoth into battle for the first time. And the Carathin is seriously big. With her massive tentacles in tow, she's clocking in over 2 miles long. There's almost nothing that big in fiction. She's one of the largest monsters you're ever gonna see, and she showed off that size and power during the war for Atlantis, where she was just absolutely wrecking shop, pretty much single-handedly won the fight. The lion turtle, otherwise known as the Ancient One, are the biggest and oldest animals living in the world of Avatar: The Last Airbender. During the time of the first Avatar, the lion turtles populated the world and were seen as the protectors of mankind, as they carried around cities on their backs. Each lion turtle had a particular connection to one of the 4 elements, so they were able to pass on the ability to manipulate the element to different people through energy bending. However, there came a time where lion turtles no longer needed to protect mankind 24/7, started to roam around the world, where they were unfortunately hunted to near extinction. Charybdis is the daughter of Poseidon and Gaia, and she was once a beautiful giantess, but now she's just a giant mouth in the ocean, ready to swallow everything around her and suck it into a gigantic whirlpool. She can destroy everything within a half-mile radius just by opening her mouth, forming a whirlpool, sucking in everything around her, then launching it back out in a devastating blast. You really can't argue that Godzilla isn't the king of all the monsters. I mean, it's Godzilla. He's the most powerful out of all of them. He's easily the most powerful Titan out there physically, able to overpower literally every other Titan in his way, even Titans like King Kong, King Ghidorah, Shimo, or Mechagodzilla. He's also easily the toughest out of all the Titans, to the point where he's able to take extinction level events and nuclear bombs actually only amp him up and make him even more powerful. Then of course there's his atomic breath and nuclear powers. Godzilla can straight up incinerate other Titans who get in his way. Nobody is safe from him when he gets going, and he definitely cemented his case as the most powerful Titan in the Monsterverse. No question about it. But unfortunately, he's not quite the most powerful sea monster that we've ever seen. That honor would have to go to Jormungandr, the world serpent. It's a massive mythical snake, destined to fight Thor and bring about Ragnarok, and as such is one of the most powerful beings in all of the 9 realms. In fact, Jormungandr's fight with Thor was so destructive and devastating that they splintered the World Tree, which was the thing responsible for holding up the 9 realms, and it ended with Jormungandr actually being sent back in time by Thor's attacks, something that Kratos literally couldn't comprehend. You know it's gotta be crazy if Kratos himself can't even understand it. And all that definitely makes the World Serpent the most powerful sea monster that you'll ever see. But what do y'all think? Sound off in the comments down below. I know you're gonna have thoughts and feelings on this one for sure. If you stuck around this long and made it to the end of the video, that's amazing. Thank you so much for watching and for supporting us. And if you want to go subscribe, well, go subscribe. You're going to see more videos like this one every single week. I'll see y'all then. I'll see y'all next time.